You have infinite amount of power within you to create whatever it is you want. And I want to speak more on today on the subject about attracting and manifesting more abundance in your life. The thing is, we don't really create abundance. Abundance is always present. We create limitations. And so, in order to actually attract or manifest more abundance into your life, it's really about removing and changing those limitations that we set forth. Now, these limitations come from beliefs, perceptions, the thought patterns that we have that aren't serving us. You know, our energetic DNA of what makes our life what it is. The story we vibrationally hold within our body about why our life is the way it is. And so until we start changing that energetically and removing those limitations we've set forth, that natural flow of abundance can begin to flow to you again. Because like they say, you know, abundance is our birthright. It is all around us. In order for that to flow to us, we have to let go of those limitations. Now, let's speak a little bit more on limitations. Regardless of how they happen, we create limitations. Okay, we've created them. And a lot of the times we create them through our life experience, you know, traumas that we've been through, how we perceive the world, what we believe about the world. Literally, it's like the energetic DNA of what makes our life the way it is. They say a belief is just a thought that you continue to think. And so when you put it in that perspective, in order for it no longer to be a belief, you would just have to stop thinking about it. Which means stop placing your attention and focus on it. That's how you begin to change your reality. You know, identifying what you've created through past experience that you are repeating energetically with your thoughts, patterns, beliefs, that is creating your now story, that DNA, that energetic DNA within you. And is it serving you? Is it bringing you to the evolution that you want, to the manifestation you want, or is it holding you back from it? Now, this only can happen through self-awareness. Being aware that you have them, being aware that that thought that you have about that thing you want is blocking you from it. Now, the only way that you can really start to dive into that is through meditation, getting to know thyself. That is the true definition of meditation. And so, regardless of what you believe meditation to be, it doesn't have to be this big thing if you don't want it to be. Right? You can meditate while walking. You can meditate while listening to music. You can meditate in so many different ways. But the most powerful way to gain control of where your thoughts are going is to quiet the mind. Whenever I bring somebody through the practice of quieting their mind, they get mad at themselves. They beat up on themselves because their mind's not getting quiet. Now, this is the thing. Our minds aren't meant to be quiet. So it's completely normal that your mind does that. So you gotta let yourself off the hook. What the work is, when we're doing a meditation that's one of quieting the mind, because there's a million ways to meditate, you have to just give yourself a simple instruction to focus on something else. Your breathing, a ticking clock, running water from the washer machine, the sound of the air conditioner running, whatever it is, something very mundane. I love counting down from 100. Okay? Because there's going to be a point in time where your mind's going to snap back into its natural thinking pattern. And that's the work. Just noticing that. And then going back to whatever you're using that's mundane to focus on. That's the work. So maybe you set out 5 minutes to do this. And maybe out of those 5 minutes, you've only quieted your mind for 30 seconds to a minute. But that's absolutely fine, because over time, when you practice that 5 minutes every day consistently for about a week or two, what happens is when you're in your normal day, at work, at home, with friends, whomever, and whatever you're doing, you'll notice when your mind starts to go a place. And that's when you can start taking your power back and asking yourself, is this moving me towards what I want or holding me back from it? And that's where you can start identifying the limitations you've created. Okay, because that is key. Because again, that natural flow of abundance is always there. Abundance is always present to us to have. But it's within the creations that we set for ourselves. And most of the time they're limiting. Okay, so you create the limitation. No fault of your own. I mean, unfortunately, it's just based on things that happen to us and how we perceive a life. Like, I perceive life differently maybe than you perceive life. But regardless, we've both created limiting things that are withholding our natural flow of abundance. So we have to learn how to energetically change that. And it begins in the mind and it begins in the body. Okay, so a lot of the meditation work is helping you with the mindset work, that personal development, shifting how you perceive and believe and how you think about the world and how you are in it and how things are available to you. That can begin to shift when you start shifting your mindset and identifying these things. So a lot of the times what I tell somebody to do in the beginning is, don't try to sit there all at once and think, what are my limiting beliefs? I mean, that's a great practice to do, but sometimes it's hard. But when you're in a situation and you notice that it comes up, okay, write it down, move on. And then the next time when you notice, oh my God, that I'm stating this right now. Well, I can't really have the love I want because nobody really wants to love somebody who's truly honest and blah, 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 blah. There's an example of a limiting belief. When you can recognize that, write it down. Because ultimately what we're going to want to do is create some affirmations, create some mantras that we can start embedding into our subconscious. Okay, because that's going to help you. When we do that, how to rewire your subconscious mind is a huge benefit to really changing your reality faster, manifesting what you want easier, because your subconscious creation is working for you. Subconscious mind is super powerful. Again, it's like that 95% of how we react to life is from that area in our energy, in our body. So knowing how to work with that. And so our subconscious mind doesn't sleep. So a lot of the times, if I know somebody's struggling with something within their subconscious, you want to listen to certain programs while you sleep. If the affirmations aren't working for you, because sometimes you can write down the affirmations as much as you want. It's not changing you energetically. It's not getting past that analytical mind for you. And so in order to do that, that's again where meditation comes in very helpful, as well as listening to things while you fall asleep and appreciating things as you fall asleep. Getting into a good marination of what you want your subconscious to now be like before you sleep. Super powerful. It's because our brain waves go into a state while we're sleeping. That is like the door, the opening, the entranceway to working with the subconscious mind. So instead of taking 10 years, 15 years to practice getting into that brain state and a conscious awake state, you can utilize your slumber to do so. I mean, I've gotten to that point where I can consciously now be in my subconscious, so make my subconscious conscious and realize what's not working for me and begin to reprogram that. That took a lot of work. That took the last 15 years of dedicating my life to learning that and doing that. That's a lot. So how do we make it easier on you? Well, you follow something that is a proven way that somebody's already been through and is created for you to make it easier on you. Now, that's the Spirit Ascension method. You can find more information on that with the resources below as well. You want to check the links below this episode. There's a lot of free resources as well that help you with this meditation, this introspection of going inward. So make sure you check those out. It's absolutely mind-blowing when you realize the power that your beliefs have on how things happen to your body in this reality, how things affect you differently than somebody else. You know, I remember Joe Dispenza saying in the Rewired series on Gaia TV that how can two factory workers both be exposed to, you know, carcinogens that are harmful for the body, and that they both hold a cell that can create cancer. And so what makes the difference between one person not getting the cancer and the other, you know, having that develop in their body? Well, that all came from the energy in that person's body, that energetic DNA that you can change based on what you're believing, how you're feeling, your perceptions. So, you know, if I think, you know, a cheeseburger is horrible for me and is going to make me fat instantly and I shouldn't eat fast food and all this stuff, yeah, it's bad for you, okay? But let's say person A feels like, you know, it's been a long day, I need something to eat, it's okay to eat at one time, I deserve this, whatever, right? And then the person B is like, oh, this is horrible for me, I'm shaming myself, I'm gonna get so fat from this is horrible, there's such toxic ingredients in this fast food. Now, the difference is that digesting in their body is going to be stored differently based on the energetic belief around what they're doing. Okay, so that's how powerful, that's just to give you an example, but that's just how powerful your beliefs are about things. And again, a belief is just a thought that you continue to think. So let's take our attention, let's take our focus off of the things that we know aren't serving us. Now, I want to stop and say, I understand there's research out there for what's horrible for you and all that stuff, and that scientific evidence is true. Absolutely. And you want to stay towards things that are healthy for you. I get it. But that belief also makes a huge difference. Just like there was times in my life where I worked out really hard, but I felt like my beliefs about losing the weight or getting fit weren't in alignment. So no matter how much I really did, I didn't really receive the results I wanted. Now, when I shifted my mindset about it first and then started taking the action, my results were completely different. And I was not even doing half of the amount of work that I was doing. So it's crazy. Like, I've studied these tests all myself. And when I stopped doing the energy work on myself for a few days and you know, how that really impacts me, I noticed the difference. So what I mean by energetic work or energy healing, they're really the same thing. They're just applied differently, but the end result is for the same. So energy work is something anyone can do, and it's using your electromagnetic fields that you have within your own body to promote the natural flow, because our bodies, just like abundance, is present everywhere and it is our birthright. Well, our bodies have this natural flow that is healing, and when we create blocks and limitations through what we believe and how we perceive, that can create energetic blocks in your body as well. And when these blocks stay there for an extended period of time, you start feeling it emotionally and then physically. And then something happens where you get sick or you're diagnosed with something. So energetic work, what it does is allows that natural flow of healing in your body. So whether you're doing energy work on yourself or somebody's applying energy healing to you, or you're doing energy healing on yourself, the end result is the same. With energy healing, we are a conduit. We're opening that door to that universal life force energy that promotes that natural flow of healing that's within our body. And it helps change the energy and gets rid of any blockages that might be there. That's why I'm a firm believer on applying these two things together. So the meditation, the going inward, the introspection, the self-awareness, identifying what limits we've created. That's all mental. That's all coming from the mental. Now that does affect your energy. That's the thing though, right? And so from that point, also on the other side, doing the energy work to your own body that promotes the healing as well. That's like a double boost, okay? And so that's why I love the Spirit Ascension method, because not only are you tapping into the mindset, the personal development, understanding what limits you've created, and now creating things that are going to be in alignment with your evolution, in alignment with your manifestations. Now you get to do the energy work in your body so that you have that working for you as well. And then you learn how to really utilize the imagination, the sensories in your mind, to have certain visualization techniques that are very powerful at manifesting. So that's really what I've perfected over the last 15 years and put into the Spirit Ascension method. If you would like more information on that, definitely check out the resources below this episode, or feel free to reach out to me on social media. So again, this episode is just to remind you that abundance is all around us. It is everywhere. Just look at the blades of grass that are in the universe, the abundance of air that is unlimited to us to breathe. It goes on and on. Just think of one in your mind of like what you see everywhere. That is an abundance. So abundance is always present. If you want more of abundance in your life, you have to realize, what am I creating that's a limitation? Because again, we don't create abundance. We create limitations. I want to set the record straight, because there is a quote out there that I do firmly believe in. But when I speak about creating energy, it kind of contradicts this quote, that energy can nor be created or destroyed. It can only be changed in form. And so I believe that. So when I'm saying create the energy, I'm just saying transform it into what you want it to be. You know what I mean? So I'm excited for you to start realizing what limitations you've created and allowing more abundance to flow into your life. You deserve it. Best thing you can do is that when you identify that limitation you've created, stop applying so much attention and focus on it, and put your attention and focus on something else. If it's something that you can't not focus on or place your attention on, like say a job, that was for me, in my experience, stuck in a 9-to-5 that literally sucked the soul out of my life. For 13 years, the first couple years, I identified I don't want to be here. The last 5 years of those 13 years, I definitely knew I didn't want to be there. But what got me through it and what evolved me to where I am today was focusing on the things that served me from that job. Money and income being one of them. And not stressing out and saying I'm working too hard for too little, and emphasizing that negative energy about the income. What did I purchase and was able to invest or grow from that income that I was using? And so my attention went to appreciation. So if you're stuck in something that you feel like you can't take your focus or energy off of entirely, switch the dynamic to one of appreciation, and more abundance will flow, and you will get to a point where you're able to change that reality for yourself. If you're looking to raise your higher consciousness and awareness, or love Joe Dispenza and you want to watch that full original series on Gaia TV, you could grab your 7-day free trial with the link below this video as well. Make sure to utilize these tools that are here for you, because they will help accelerate this process for you. Life is just too short to not be enjoying our time here and be in a place that you don't want to be. You are powerful and you have infinite power within you. It's time you own that. It's time you utilize that And it's time you start creating the reality you wanted. Really hope you enjoyed this episode. If something resonated with you, reach out to me, let me know, or comment below. And make sure to subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. Can't wait till I see you guys next week.
Did you like this episode? If so, make sure to subscribe to the podcast. Are you an expert at creating your own reality? Do you have a story to tell that drastically changed your life? If so, message me at Dream Creation Podcast on Instagram, and don't forget to leave a review.